Hey everybody, what's going on? Before we get into the video, I just want to let you know I am streaming again on Twitch pretty regularly. I'll be live at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight, and what we're going to be doing tonight is just summoning people's shards. Anybody that comes in and wants me to pop their sacred shards for them, I'm going to do it on stream, and that's also where I'm going to be doing my shards. So if you're interested in that, come kick it, twitch.tv/JGigs. That's what we'll be doing tonight. Other than that, today I really just wanted to talk about the fusion and just kind of the state of things that are going on, give you my thoughts on it. I'm getting a lot of people asking me if I think the fusion is worth it. So let's go ahead and look over the fusion champ real quick and talk about him. His skin looks really cool. He's got a cool pairing with the other Void Legendary that got put out. And he's interesting. We have a very interesting case here with this champ, but I wanted to touch on some stuff. I'm also going to look at him in the index because we get a real look at his base stats. I forgot in there that would not be the case. So his first skill, attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a defense break for 2 turns. 30% chance of granting an extra turn. So that's pretty cool. Defense break is pretty handy. It is single target, but that doesn't mean it's not effective. There are places that call for a single target defense break, you know, dungeon bosses and things of that nature. So that's okay. Second skill, this one's pretty interesting too. Attacks one enemy, decreases the target's max HP by 20%, and then adds that HP to his own HP, to his own max HP, right? So if let's say you go in with, and he's got no gear on him, he's got 11,895, and you hit the enemy, and it has a destroy proc, like kind of like the destroy set. It destroys some of their HP. Let's say it's, I don't know, 3,000. It's going to take that 3,000 away from them and add it to you. So now your base HP is 14,000. I'm sorry, your max HP is 14,895. And this can go on throughout the fight up to an extra 60,000 HP on this guy. Not to mention you're destroying it on the enemy too. So he does not start off super strong, right? At least in this sense. He has low base HP, and that's a thing that I see a lot of people talking about. That his base HP is lower than a lot of rares, but I think if you consider the context, it makes sense because he does have really good base attack, and he also actually has really good base defense for an attacker. So his base stats are not that bad. He is a little on the slow side, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. And like I said, if he's in a fight that's going to be going on a little longer, he's going to be getting stronger and stronger because his damage, all his skills also scale off HP. So you build him for damage, you put a little bit of HP on him, and over the course of the fight, he's going to get tankier and stronger. So I think that's why his HP is so low starting out. Third skill, attacks one enemy will ignore 75% of the target's defense, will also ignore unkillable and block damage, grants an extra turn if it kills an enemy. Enemies killed by this skill can't be revived. Now I feel like this gives him a lot of Ice Golem utility, because, two, I speculate, at least, that the destroy effects that he puts on the minions will stay on them when they're revived. I don't know if they come back with original max HP, or if they come back continuing to be affected by what he's done to them with their max HP. So that would be interesting to see, but he could be pretty handy in Ice Golem considering all these things, because you're probably going to get some pretty heavy damage out of this skill, again, especially as the fight goes on, as it begins to scale off of his HP that he is increasing. This is potentially a pretty good nuke, even in the higher levels of Ice Golem, so I will be really interested to see how he works in there. Also consider that this is on a 2-turn cooldown skilled up, and this is on a 3-turn cooldown skilled up. Every 2 turns, he's going to be taking HP from them and adding it to his own. That's going to add up fairly quickly. So, again, I'm really excited to see what he's like in Ice Golem. Also, in the longer arena fights, you know, this seems like a skill that's going to be great for Tormund. He's going to cut right through the defense, and Tormund's not going to be able to revive if he gets a kill. If Tormund is paired with someone that is putting unkillable or block damage on him, it doesn't matter. He's going to be able to hit through it. There's a lot going on with this dude. And then his passive, basically what it says is he can't take more than 50% of his own max HP as damage in a hit. So for someone that's going to come in and try to nuke him down and kill him in one shot, it will stop at 50% on one hit. Now if it's a multi-hitter, that might be a problem, but as far as just taking a big hit goes, He's not going to take more than 50% of his HP, which means he's going to be very difficult to one-shot. You're going to have a multi-hitter that's capable of cutting through that, I think. So that's going to be really interesting. It compensates a little bit for him being a little bit squishier at the beginning of a fight. And when it happens, he gets an extra turn. So he's getting a lot of turn cycling through his kit. He's doing a lot of things to his kit. I think he is a good champ. People are really been up about this HP. I don't think this HP is that big of a problem. And I think it's a lot less of a problem as the fight goes on. So he also takes less damage from bosses, and even less damage if you've got the Sifi pairing. And pretty cool. I will be interested to see how he used and where he gets used and all that stuff. But I think he's a fun champ. Now, that being said, let's take a look at the fusion. I do think he's a good champ, and I think that he's going to be fun. I certainly think he's going to have his uses. If you are unable to participate in this fusion, or you are on the fence about this fusion, do not get too bent up about it. I don't think that he is a must-have champ. This is not like if Draco or Venus or someone like that was a fusion, and it would be like, you kind of got to do everything you got to do to get this champion. I don't think that this guy's a must-have. Again, I think he's good. I think he'll have his uses, but he is not as mandatory of a fusion as a lot of the other champs that we've seen. You know, if you had to choose, I would fuse Rosin before I would fuse this guy. Rosin is going to do more for you than this guy. So if you can't participate, don't get too bummed out about it. Honestly, it is probably not the worst thing in the world if a lot of players don't participate. You know, at a certain point, we're going to have to send a message to them about these fusions, because it's just so many new champs. And I know that they put out a lot of new champs, and I don't know, there's a lot of people that are saving their champions for fusions, and they keep putting out these fusions that require so many of the new champs. It's so unlikely that you're going to have any kind of a leg up here. And you know, three new champs here, one champ we already had in the game, and then I think it's 2 and 2, 2 and 2, and then it's 3 new ones and one we already had here. But then here it's 3 ones we already had and a new one. So, and then he ends up a lever 2 and 2. And I don't know. I don't know what the fusion event is going to look like as far as the events and how you get the champs. I will say that there's only one summon rush, which is refreshing. There's not a champ chase also, unless I misread. There's just one summon rush, and I don't think it's, I mean, let me hit this from all angles here. He's at 1400. That is going to be 70 ancient shards. That is, you know, not many people are just going to have 70 ancient shards lying around. If you happen to have any sacreds, that's going to be a huge bump to you. Voids are also going to be pretty helpful here. And then a lot of people have a lot of mystery shards lying around, so it may be a little tedious for you, but I think 1400 is doable. If you had any shards here saved up, you're going to get a good head start, and then hopefully you can knock the rest of it out with mystery shards. Again, it's going to be tedious, but at least he's not like here. You know what I mean? I feel like in the past we've seen him down here, and it's just like, what do you think's going to happen here? So I would like to see him a little bit lower, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. But I think 1400, even though I think it's attainable. Look at them. You see where they screwed up his border? Let me move real quick. I'll turn my chair. See how his portrait comes out of his border down here? That's pretty good. I don't know if it's always been like that for his picture or what, but yeah, I would like to see him a little lower, if I'm going to be honest. I think that they should have probably come out and said, you know, let's make this fusion a little bit on the easier side, just to appease everybody. We've done a lot of things wrong lately. People are pissed about just about everything. Maybe a relatively easy fusion for one of the cool new champs would be the way to go. But I think we've learned at this point that is not a page in their book. So 1400, I think it's aggravating, but I think it's doable if you've been playing it for a little bit and you've been, you know, the green shards pile up. I'm sure. Let me see how many I've got. I mean, I'm at 3,700. I know everybody is not going to have that many, but they pile up fairly quickly. And then the champ training event, we've got 3 of the champs in here, and it's a week and 3 day long. event. Again, I mean, I would like to see them a little bit lower. I would like to see them a little bit easier to obtain than this. It is a week, and I know that it's a 2-week and 3-day fusion event, but you know, I just would like to see them a little lower than this. You know what I mean? That's a lot for 3 of the champs. So, you know, then you've still got to build the other ones and get all the potions, and I don't think they consider the full scope of a fusion event. I don't think that they really understand. So when they're making these events where you can farm these champions from them, I think they're thinking like, oh, this should be doable. You should be able to grind this out in a week. Even on, you know, this is me assuming that they're even concerned at all about coming across as being reasonable. But it would be like, this should be doable. They should be able to do this in a week. And they're totally forgetting about all the rest of the stuff you have to do, and all the potions you have to farm, and all the actual fusion food you have to level up. I don't think that gets considered here. So I will participate to what extent I can. As you know, I am in the middle of a free-to-play strike right now, so I will probably very casually participate in this. I will not be trying to finish this fusion tooth and nail or anything. But if I happen to be leveling up champs and I realize I'm getting close to something, you know, maybe I'll burn through a little bit of energy and try to finish it. But I am honestly, for all intents and purposes, taking a pass on this one. It's not even for some hard stand. You know what I mean? I'm not making a call to action here, but I'm uninterested. They're just doing. For a straight year, I've been watching them do this shit, and it's just getting less and less interesting for me to really participate in what's going on. So I'm just not that interested, to be honest. I'm gonna pop through my sacreds tonight on stream, and I'll probably end up with Apothecary soon at some point, and maybe I'll level up some food. We'll see how the event's looking, but as it stands right now, I don't have any real intentions of participating in the fusion. So I want to know how you guys feel about this fusion. How do you feel about the state of the game right now and the fusion, the timing of the way that this fusion is? Do you feel like this is looking reasonable? Do you think you're going to be able to do it if you're a free-to-play player? Are you even interested in doing it at this point? Let me know how you guys are feeling about it and what your plans are. And if you are going to try to do it, especially if you're free-to-play, I would really appreciate it if you would keep me posted periodically and let me know how it's going for you as a free-to-play player. I will be very interested to know if this is going to be one of those that is even possible as a free-to-play player. So I think that's going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Again, if you want to come hang with us tonight, we're going to be popping a bunch of shards, twitch.tv/JGigs at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's when I'll be going live. So hopefully I'll see you there. Otherwise, holler at me in the comments and let me know your thoughts on all this. And I appreciate you watching. Hopefully see you guys tonight, but if not, I'll see you tomorrow.